Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. On this video, I'm going to show you how I made these cute rhinestone hats. Now, I have an intro built into the actual tutorial, so we're going to jump right in. Before we do though, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. If you do, tap that bell, let YouTube know you want to be notified when I upload all new videos. Now let's get started. So a couple weeks ago, one of my favorite YouTubers, Patrice from Craftable Things, on her Friday Night Live, she invited everyone to bling something out with her. So I decided to make this hat. Now let me tell you how I made it. I got the hat from Hobby Lobby. I cut the word Jeep using varsity font out of this Caesar holographic HTV. I ironed on the HTV. Then I added some gem tack glue and I put the rhinestones on the top of the middle of the letters. So in my video today, I'm going to make another hat for a friend of mine. My husband and I went up to Kansas City with her and her husband today, and they picked up a Jeep. So I'm going to make a hat for her like mine. So let's go ahead and jump into this, and I'll talk about some of the tools and the rhinestones I'm using as we go along. So I have my little Cricut Easy Press Mini. It's heated up to the medium temperature. Then I have a couple of t-shirts just wadded up. I'm going to put this on the inside of my hat. That way I have something to push against. You could fold up a towel or anything that just gives you something to hold behind the hat so that you get good pressure on your HTV. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of heat tape on this just to kind of help hold it in place. It doesn't hold it really well, so don't count on this to do all the work for you, but it is going to help hold it in place just a little bit. Now there's a seam going down the middle of the hat, so I want the gap between my two E's right where that seam is. What I'm going to do is start in the middle, get it adhered down a little bit, and then before I move on to the rest of the letters, I'll see if I need to adjust it. Okay, this is very cool now, so go ahead and peel this up. Now if you see it lifting up, go ahead and put your transfer sheet down, give it some more heat, and then let it cool again. Now if you've ever done diamond painting, you might have a little tray like this, you might have a wax pencil, or you might have this little tool that you can use where you jam down into this tacky stuff and that adheres to your little diamond painting pieces. So that's what I started with a couple weeks ago. Since then, I ordered this tool. It helps you pick up the rhinestones. I ordered this off of Amazon. You got 2 in a set. This end is a piece of wax, kind of like the wax pencil. As it gets old, you can unscrew it and put a new one on. Then the other side is a little hollow tube. If you want to, you can use it to jab down in this and get some of this tacky, it's not really an adhesive, it's just tacky stuff that will also pick up rhinestones. But I prefer the wax side. Then you can use this side to kind of shove them around if they need to be moved. Then I also bought this little precision tip glue bottle, and this will be my first time to try it. Hopefully the end of it's wide enough for this gem tack to come out of. Now you don't have to have one of these trays, but it does kind of help to get them lined up and get them flipped over so you can grab onto them. I got a bunch of these on Amazon for really not very much. So everything you see me using, except for the actual hat, which I got at Hobby Lobby, I'll go ahead and put Amazon links to these. And if you use these links, thank you so much. That does help my channel. It allows me to keep buying some things to make videos with. Okay, so since I have not even tested this, first that's what I'm going to do. Now, the way this is supposed to be is you're supposed to have this little ring thing around the collar of this bottle, and then you have a little cap for where the glue comes out, so you keep it from drying out. Well, I don't think I want that hanging around and getting everywhere, so I'm just going to remove it. Then when I'm done, I'll put it back on. Okay, so I want to see if the gem tack is too thick to come out of this or if it will come out of it. Okay, little bitty parts, it does come out. Let me go ahead and wipe that up with a paper towel. So what I want to do is go ahead and fill in the top part of the J. I'm not going to put any rhinestones over this outline, just on the inside of letters. So I'll just fill in with the gem tack the top part of this J. And you don't want your glue too thick. If it's very thick, it's going to come up around your rhinestones and it's going to make them less shiny, a little milky. You just don't want it coming up and getting on the tops or sides of your rhinestones. So I'm going to use this toothpick just to kind of flatten out or spread out this glue. Now this glue is white right now, but it dries clear. And I want to try to keep it off the fabric, because even though it dries clear, you will see a different texture if you get that on your fabric. Okay, so I'm using my little picker-upper tool. I'm just going to tap it on the top of a rhinestone. That lifts it up, and it makes it where I can set it easily. Now, before I get too picky about exactly where they are, I'm going to go ahead and see how many it takes me to get across the top of that J. Now, this gem tack dries pretty quickly, so you don't want to put it in too big of an area. Okay, so I have my first 2 rows on there. What I want to do is I want to look at it really carefully, get my rhinestones lined up. I should be using the other end of this. Kind of move them into place. Now I need to pull this off camera so I can look at it really well. After your first couple rows, when they're not moving anymore, it gets easier. But your first row is kind of like that cornerstone of a building. You need to get it right. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So here's what I like to do next. I like to just take, I don't know if this is called the ball of your thumb or what, but I like this piece of my thumb right here. I like to put it on top. I have pressure underneath of it with a finger. Just push down on it for about 5 seconds to really set them down in it. I'll do a little bit more talking through it, and then I'll just speed up through the rest of this. Now SS10s, that's a fairly small size of rhinestone. That's a good size when you're doing smaller projects like this. I have another project coming up that's going to take more rhinestones, and they're going to cover a really large area. And so for that project, I'm going to use mainly SS20s. So once again, I'm going to get 2 rows set. I'll push them to where they need to go. Then again, I'm just going to push down on them for about 5 seconds. Now, I know you don't want to see me do this all night, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up, maybe time lapse, maybe even jump over some of this. I have to tell you, this is tedious work, but for me, it is very therapeutic. Okay, I wanted to come back on so I could show you what I have so far. Now, you might see a little milky white under there. Again, that is going to dry within 2 to 3 hours. This is going to be clear, and then within 24 hours or in 24 hours, it is really set hard. Now, once I'm done with all the letters, I will see if I need any what's called filler rhinestones. That would be smaller rhinestones that I need just down, like in the corner areas where you might see a little of the HTV coming through. That's why it's nice to have a set where you have tiny ones all the way up to medium ones. Now the largest in this set are SS12s. And this is a nice set for small ones. And then you can buy individual bags of larger ones. These are SS20s, and this is what I'm going to use on my next project. So I'll go back to working. Again, want to press those in, but I kind of want to wait and press harder once the glue's a little bit dry. It's a little bit dry now. I can press really hard now. If you get too much glue on them, it starts coming up through, and then you press. Sometimes you can have it come off on the palm of your hand or this part of your thumb. So press them a little bit to start with, and then once the glue gets a little bit drier, then go back and just really press those in. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I'll go back, I'll do these, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this a final push in over here on my last letter. I put a few little filler crystals in. It took me about an hour after I started fast forwarding this to do the rest of the letters. So I'll let this dry overnight. I'll check it out in the morning, and then if I need to add any more little bitty filler crystals in, I'll do that tomorrow. But I think I'm pretty well done. Super blingy, super pretty. Now don't forget, I'll go ahead and link to most of these things in the video description below. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Tap that bell, let YouTube know you want to be notified when I upload all my new videos. Thanks so much for all your support. Until my next one, bye-bye.